Yay, ladies, we're back. I promised you. Yes, I did. I promised you that season 2 was going to be epic. Season 1 was off the chain, but we are back in the studio today, and this is another segment for season 2. And season 2 is all about elevation, which means the conversations are going to be harder. They're going to be stronger because we're pushing you to your limits. Now, this next lady, Lynn, I am happy that you are here. Go ahead and just say hi real quick before I intro you for real, for real.
Yes, exactly. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? So
Yeah.
excited to be here.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Look, you guys, Lynn and I just kind of, the universe just collided our spirits together. Don't neither one of us know how we ended up finding each other, but we did. And there are so many things that were going on in your life before me and that have been going on through the duration of our relationship, and watching your elevation while you've been building your business. I know that it is a very powerful testimony of what we are capable of. And so I'm excited for you to be here today and to talk to people about the pieces of your journey that you think that they need to hear in order to up level their commitment to success, not surrendering to their overall goals, and being very tenacious about getting there, and also having a very high level of faith for those moments when there's nothing, that we can do. I know that all of these things I just said, you embody all of that. You got the work, but you also got to pause and you believe, and you like, my father got me, the whole nine. And so I know that what you bring to the table today is going to be a blessing. But before we get started, I always like my guests to get to know you. So without getting into all the business stuff, who is Lynn as a person?
Oh, I've always enjoyed this question. So who am I as a person? Actually, it was asked of me the other day by one of my clients. So funny, because I always ask them, hey, ask me a question. What do you want me to know? And so she just busted out. She was like, who are you? And I started laughing. I was like, thank you. Because I'm a performer and I was able to answer it. So who I am is that I'm independent. I'm a strong woman. I am a go-getter. I'm funny. I have a great sense of humor. I have a spirit of discernment like out of this world. I'm a helper. I'm a giver. I'm a person that's not going to take any mess, but I'm very compassionate. I'm graceful. I'm all those different things that seem contradictory, but I'm so complex. I'm all of that,
Yes.
So being with, like I would tell people all the time, and I think I said this to her, I said, it's something special knowing who I am and knowing me, because it's something special being my friend. So that's who I am. I mean, I'm very confident. Some people say I'm arrogant. It's not arrogance. It's when you know something is true, it's not arrogant. So that's who I am.
And I resonate with that one, because I'm just badass, gonna say how it is, how I feel. You like it or you love it. And that is a thing that we as women, we're not really taught to hone that. And so when you do discover it, it is a beautiful thing to walk in that truth. And real powerful women respect the essence of that we're not going to even get into that topic, but to perceive it as arrogance has to do with the personal perception internally of the person that's looking at that. Okay, but moving forward, so that's, amen. So that's who you are as a person. Who are you as a business owner?
Oh my goodness. I am a go-getter. I'm a person that is truly, when we talked about before, who's an entrepreneur and who's a business owner, and to me, yes, they are different. So as a business owner, I'm a woman that takes care of myself. And what I mean by that is coming into into private practice, knowing that there's no stability of a 2-week check or stability of falling back on someone. That is a person that is a risk taker. That's what I want to say. A risk taker, but a person that really knows exactly what needs to be done. So I am a licensed professional counselor, and I've been doing it for some time, and I'm not going to go into that because I feel like you may ask me about that. But just as a business owner and entrepreneur, I'm a person that gets up every day and works my business, so much so that where people are like, oh, today's Friday. I'm like, oh, today's Friday? Well, I'm sorry. Every day is a business day for me. So I'm a person that's focused. Like, I don't even look at weekends and all that. Every single day of the week is a day that I have to work my business. So That's where I am on that.
You know what? That right there is already a really controversial statement, that you made. And being that I work with a lot of business owners that are, still near that newbie mark, or they're trying to get a breakthrough, because I've had some clients, several of them, who've had anywhere from 5 to 10 years of experience, but they've been very stuck and stagnant. And like, August, I'm really not making money under the kind of money that I want to make in my business. And what I have found in a lot of them is a very lazy work ethic, because there's a lot of noise out there, especially if you're online, do these 6 steps, and this only this that sells, and I only work 3 hours a week, and I'm on the beach, living it up. And then you hear someone like me, and I've had people say, I don't resonate with your message because you just want to do. You just want to work. And it's like, well, number one, let's get it straight. When I was doing 12-hour shifts at the hospital, because there have been seasons in my life where I did have to get a job. It didn't last long, probably about 4 months, but I was going through something, and but still, nevertheless, when I was getting up early in the morning to take my daughter there and go work at that hospital for 12 hours and still end up staying for an extra hour because the person, didn't come to relieve me, that's working all day. Even though it's work, when I was supposed to have a few hours free to myself and a client has an emergency and I pick up the phone, or maybe I just feel them and I pick up the phone and it turns into a 35-minute or an hour conversation because they were doing something, I don't feel tired. And I don't feel like I work, but I definitely feel fulfilled. And so I hear these women, they want to be world changers. You don't even have a massive following of loyal buying customers, not just personality fans. You haven't even built or established an empire, and you're trying to find the quickest route to not do shit. I'm trying to understand where that came from.
You know what? I'm going to tell you where it came from. It came from the slave mentality. It definitely came from the slave mentality everyone knows the history of slaves. And if you don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit. All right. So no one wanted to become a slave. We were sold by our people to the colonizers, brought from our land over here to work for free. Okay? And when we were brought over here, yes, it was against our will, and we got families were broken up and all that. But anyway, we were so imprisoned by this to where we work for free for the slave owners, to where, maybe you get one day off, and that's usually Sunday, because sometimes they allowed the slaves to have church. So you work all this time for no pay or less pay or nothing, and you bought into it. Which is when people get jobs, you buy into it.
Yes.
You gotta have a job. You have to do this. You gotta go to school. Who says that? Our parents have been taught us that, because our grandparents taught us that, because they're gripping on and on and on, that you have to work for another person. You don't have to work for nobody else but yourself. Now, let me say this. Those people that say, oh, what she's talking about, she didn't even know how to be an employee. Yes, I was. I was an employee for many years. And then I realized there was no loyalty and no stability for working for someone else's dream. That's what the slaves did. They worked for somebody else's crops and land. That was their slave owner's dream. That wasn't theirs. And they didn't start feeling the financial freedom or any kind of freedom until they got from under the slave master.
And you already started segueing into it. And yes, so the people listening, a job is still a form of slavery, because you do all of that work, and then what do you have to show at the end? And people don't really like to talk about that. But so you see the doctor and you're like, oh, but they're a doctor and they live in this big house and they have these nice things, but they are a slave to having to go to that job and perform to get what they need. And when you get through doing all the calculations, and we won't even get into malpractice insurance and stuff like that. And I'm using a doctor because you are a licensed professional counselor. Those types of things are highly expensive. Their education, they take much longer to get there. And because of the form of education, it's much more expensive. There are people that I know that work for collection companies, because you can't put your student loans on your Chapter 7. that are calling 75-year-old women talking about when you gonna pay this money, or that are getting their money garnished in order for the government to still get their money back. And so you bought into the system that says this is the way that you have to live life. I've created something for you to do something for me to keep your ass still so that you don't get in the way. I was at a business conference this weekend and somebody said these jobs do not pay you to do a service, they pay you to not be their competition.
There it is. There it is.
So you said you weren't going to be a slave. And you said, I'm going to blaze my own path. What pushed that for you?
Again, being a slave. But what really pushed me, because I had always been an entrepreneur, even as a child. You know how like back in the day, people would sell lemonade and this and that. I sold lemonade. I made cakes and pies and cookies. I would go door to door doing sweeping, mowing lawns. I did all of that because I always wanted my own money. And even though I did buy into the slave mentality and getting a job, because I did, I was still an entrepreneur. But I would tell my mom all the time, I said, I'm going to be a millionaire, but I know I can't be a millionaire working for nobody else. No. Because working for somebody else is not going to give me the money that I deserve. Because when you work for someone else, they put a limit on they value how much you think you are, and they put a limit on it. They put a cap on it. You're like, and you know you're worth more than that. So what really, really, even though I had it in my mind, but what really catapulted me into becoming an entrepreneur is when the powers that be at this hospital that I used to work for came in and told us, you guys have 60 days and then the clinic is closing. And I said to myself, that's it. That's it. Because I have a husband, I have a son, I have a life. 60 days, and my life was getting turned upside down with no money coming in. I said, something has to change. Yes. And at that moment, that's what pushed me into it. No lie. Because I had been thinking about it, but that literally pushed me into it. And I said, you know what? You got to stop being scared, because these people did not care about you when they came in and told you would not have a job anymore. And you cannot will your job to your son anyway. So you get up and you stop being scared and you go and you do it. So that's what did it for me, just having that push. And I was like, well, you know what? That's who I am anyway. So let me get ready and start doing it.
And, and I don't know, and you could talk about it, but I don't know what your vision was. And I imagine that it was like, okay, well, I got to do something to create some income. But I know that doing you has opened so many other doors, because one of the things that I saw with you recently, right shortly after we met, was you were on a tour for your book. You did a collaborative book opportunity with somebody else. You have been working on your own. You have been a featured speaker. And so stepping into your greatness and deciding that you were going to make a decision to do something different actually ended up being more explosive in your life. So when you first started your journey, talk about what you thought having your own practice was going to look like versus the kind of things that you've discovered that are possible now that you decided to get in the thick of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we got, because let me just say this, because we've been talking about the slave mentality. So let's let them know what freedom look like.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. But definitely when I first started, I was thinking like, oh, okay, I could be on my own. So how many clients can I get? How many clients can I see? How much money do I want to make? So even though I had the thought of being on my own and being an entrepreneur and being a business person, it was still inside the box just a little bit, because I was like just starting, but I knew I wanted to be on my own. So it was more like a brick and mortar, like, okay, this is what you can do. This is how much money you can make, even though I wanted to do it on my own. Then I really started thinking, when I met you, again, I don't even know how we met. I just know I saw a video and this woman on fire. And I was like, oh, okay, I need to work with her because she is just like me. But when I met you and I started working with you, and then you just opened my mind even more, like, what the heck am I doing? Yeah, I'm on the right track, but I need to go further in this. And so it exploded into it looking like, okay, let me give you an example. So if someone says they want a house and they say, okay, I want 3 bedrooms and 2 baths and this and that. Mm-hmm. So I'm working with you. I was just like, I'm about to get a mansion. because And that's how it started looking. It was like, okay, that's my practice. I'll have these many people. So now it's like, oh, I can do so much more. So that freedom of having the imagination of where my business can go. Because it was at first, like I said, okay, so quiet and so meek and so much. Now it's just like, oh, everybody needs to know about me. And I need to start doing things online. And you need me because I deal with trauma and I deal with grief and I understand this and I'm an expert in this. And I was just like, wow, where did this come from? So it's just knowing that the shackles, going back to the slave mentality, the shackles were being removed every single time in this journey. It was just like, okay, now that's gone. Now the ankle chains are gone. Now this is gone. Now this is gone. And now being in full freedom, it's just like, okay, what else can I do? It's just
Absolutely.
like literally running away from the slave master, like literally running and knowing that it's just so much world out there for me to just explore and just to conquer. So that's what that looks like.
And for the people that are listening, I want you to internalize what she's saying, because changing your life, there's a physical change, there's a mental change. And so that physical change came from not being at that job. And so some of you, you've made the physical change. You said, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to do my own thing. But you still, your reference point. And I say this even for myself, at some season in my life, my point of reference was still to emulate or duplicate something based on the experience that I had. And so a lot of you have created what I call an entrepreneur job. You created an entrepreneur job because you are now the head of a version of a job that you left, and your structure and your site. But when you really, I love the way you sounded, girl. Make sure you go back and listen and rewind it. You like, people need to know who Lynn is. I deal with trauma. I help people get free. You need to know my name. I need to show who I am. Mm-hmm. That is a mental shackle that has to come down, because when you were working on the slave master's plantation, the only thing you knew was that master's sick. It was, is his crops all right? And now it's all about, are you all right? That's and right. Ask yourself, for real, where are you at? How do you feel? How are you exploding? How are you growing? Are you visualizing your business at a completely different level, where you've went from wanting a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house to wanting the mansion, wanting the castle, wanting to be at the top of the hill? Be like Tyler Perry, get the island. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
What do you really want? And that's why you can work your business the way that you do. And I want to add another point of clarity, and I'm going to pass the mic back. When we talk about working your business and every day is an opportunity, sometimes you guys hear that and you make it too difficult. You could just be chilling with your family and be somewhere sitting down eating, but maybe you're waiting because the restaurant is crowded and someone happens to sit next to you and it's like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Like, yeah, they crowded up in here today. And a casual conversation, because one little bitty thing was said, triggers you to really say, oh, this is a marketing opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know what it is. We don't even have time to talk, sis, but you seem a little downtrodden in your spirit. I'm going to give you one of my business cards. Or are you on social media? Hey, let's follow each other. And that right there, that's because your business is always on your mind. And what a lot of y'all don't understand is that CEOs, they business, because it's connected to their money, is always on their mind. But there's that passionate connection. You cheesing. Come on, take the mic back.
No, I disagree, because I think about, that's just who I am anyway. Like my husband says all the time, he said, you know what, you would talk to a wall if the wall could talk back. I talk to everyone because I love meeting people. Yeah. And yes, my business is on my mind, but I love meeting people and I love hearing stories. And that's usually what happens. So that's why I was smiling, because I've gotten several referrals or several clients just by someone sitting down next to me and I'm having a casual conversation. They was like, oh, I love your spirit. What do you do? And I start talking. Mm-hmm. And then, or they'll say, you are a helper, aren't you? You know, you're this, you're that. And then I keep listening to them. I'm like, and by the way, I didn't want to say anything, but yes, I am a counselor. Oh, really? I've been looking for a counselor. Or this is oh, God is so great. And I'm like, yes, that's why I was smiling so big, because I see that all the time, like almost I would say in 7 days a week, at least 5 people I have that conversation with because I'm just so open and I'm so free and people feel comfortable talking to me. So the smile, that's what the smile was all about because I keep my business on my mind all the time. Every time I have a conversation could potentially be an opportunity for business. Yes, it's a marketing tool, but it definitely could turn into something that could be a business opportunity. So.
So what I heard is the inspired action to follow divine direction led you to your assigned clients.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love how I say all that. You just say, okay, then this is what you're saying. See, yes. I love it. I love all of that. Yeah, divine intervention truly is something that I really believe in because I met so many amazing people on Facebook and just conferences and just you just don't know who you're gonna meet. You don't know who you can network
Right.
with. You don't know who can be that, like that client for you or that partner for you. And just yeah. So but I do want to say one thing that you had mentioned when some people say, oh, you're always talking about business, business, business. When you are a business owner, you do need to talk about business, business, business.
Hello?
And I'm laughing because I'm thinking, I've talked to people that feel like, Lynn, when you going to start resting? You need to rest. You need to rest. Oh my God. It's me. It's me. I am my own CEO. It is me. I don't have anybody taking care of me. And you think about all these other businesses. When do they stop promoting their business? When? When does anybody, and I don't even have to mention name, but you think of any franchise, you think of any restaurant, you think of any company, when do they not promote their business?
But you know something? That word rest, what once again, it's equated to their experience. When they go, 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 go for someone else's passion, it's draining. I could have had a massive headache, not been feeling good, and had a client appointment. And because I really don't like canceling and rescheduling, said, let me get myself together, drink some water, eat a salad, get some veggies and fruit in me, get on that call. They could need something. And in me serving and talking to them, it revs me up. So us doing our businesses, it isn't a bunch of fatigue ass tasks. It is an energizing moment that actually fuels us. I know for me, sometimes I got to be like, cut off the lights, put some music in your ears, quit thinking, take your butt to bed, because I can get in that zone between the book and the podcast and the clients and the ideas, and I can go, 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 because you got to think about what's actually compelling you to move. So speaking of that, I want to ask you another question.
Okay.
So here it is that people, find a way. When you have a slave mentality, you pick that cotton no matter what the temperature is, no matter how you feel, whether or not you got whipped and you got beat. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, a lot of people fall off once it starts getting uncomfortable, or when things don't go exactly the way that you thought that it would. So for you, can you think about anything or just a theme in particular that you had to keep pushing through, or something that you're really proud of, that a moment that you didn't let stop you, and on the other side of that was such great success that you like, this is why you don't stop. You wouldn't stop for massa, so don't stop for yourself.
That's right. That's right. I want to say one thing before I go into what didn't stop me. When you were talking about how we keep pushing, pushing, pushing when we work somebody else's job and work up a master, just think about most jobs tell you you will not get your insurance, your benefits until 90 days.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And you keep pushing, pushing, pushing. I don't care if you have a toothache. I don't care if you have to have surgery. You're like, I got to keep going and going and going until these 90 days kick in, and then I can go and get my benefits. It's the very same thing. You got to keep going. When you see a goal, you got to stay focused.
Yes.
You don't give up for them, so don't give up for yourself. I just needed to mention that.
Amen.
But as far as, amen, that's a word.
Really?
So I wanted to say, yes, there were times that had gotten so hard. And I would say the one thing in the very beginning was not convincing my husband, because I didn't ever have to convince him, but it was more like him seeing the vision of me not being an employee anymore,
Gotcha.
than to become a business owner. So that was difficult in the beginning because he was like, babe, all this money, because I really made really good money. All this money you put into the table and this that stability, and you don't know what you're going to be making and all that stuff. That was hard because men like to see money. They like to see facts. They like to see
Never
numbers.
see.
They like to see all that. If they can't see all of that, they're like, yeah, no. But just having to do that, so that was a time where it was very, very difficult. But I knew if I can get past
Mm.
that point and him to see my vision, how it can become our vision, how it can help the family, that's what I did. When I saw that and him saying, oh, this is how I can bless the family. Oh, because he saw that it would be more time with the family because I was never at home.
Hello.
Never, never at home. It's always more time with the family, more time with him, more time for us to go on vacation or things like that. He was like, oh, so now I see you becoming a business owner does affect me because in the beginning he didn't see it. He just thought, oh, is this money gonna be lost? But
That
now it's
is.
not. And now it's not money lost, nor and we have more time together. So that was a goal that I was trying to get towards anyway because I knew leaving the job, even though I thought it was stability, leaving the job I knew I was gonna get my family back. Now, see
Yeah.
this right here. I'm not even gonna cry. Oh, I'm not gonna cry. But I knew becoming a business owner was gonna get my family back because I was just a mother and wife on paper. Mm.
Mm. Lynn, you hit a
And
nerve.
I was the employee 100% of the time. And so them coming in and saying they were closing our clinic, that really changed my life in ways that I never thought would change my way. Becoming a business owner, for those that are watching, becoming a business owner, an entrepreneur can help you get your family back. Because I know your wife, your spouse, depending on who's watching, your spouse and your children are looking at you like, I don't ever see you anymore. And
Right.
when I do see you, you too tired. And when I do see you, you don't have time for me. So that was my goal. Not only being independent, but that was my goal to get my family back. And I know I said a lot, but that was exactly my goal. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. And I'm so much more happy um, doing that because, again, it's like a new friendship that I have with my husband now. It's a new friendship that I have with my son
Yes.
now. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still issues going on. It's
What
like
is
life issues. We
this?
all have life issues, but the grand scheme of things is that I'm much more happy. They're much more happy.
Mm-hmm.
And this was an opportunity that I could not pass up for me and my family.
Yeah, you gave me chills. You really did give me chills. And I'm gonna tell you, I was talking to my husband the other day and I told him, I said, if I died tomorrow and I, was questioned or interviewed about whether or not I was satisfied with the timing, that I would be able to say yes.
Yeah,
Do I want to do more? Do I want to reach more people and all of that stuff? Yeah, I do.
yeah, me
But
too.
when I wake up every day, the fact that my kids and my husband can see me every day, all day, if they want to, that
Mm-hmm,
is freaking priceless. So yeah, I'm still
mm-hmm.
building the empire. Yes, it's getting bigger. It's getting more profitable. Yes, we have a great marriage. I have great kids, but every once in a while I want to strangle you, because that
Yeah.
stuff right there, that's just a given that
Mm-hmm,
comes. But the quality of life and the quality of peace that I have, that is
mm-hmm.
priceless. That is irreplaceable.
Right.
Ladies, are you a wife and a mother on paper? And ooh, do you want to get your family back? If
Yeah.
that isn't a reason to build a business, then I don't know what is. I want to segue really quick because I want people to know how you can help them. I know that you don't only service business owners versus,
Right.
people that work for companies. You deal a lot with trauma. And I want you to
Mm-hmm.
kind of talk to people because I know that the women that are listening to this podcast who are predominantly entrepreneurs, they need help. And I know that you have online resources for them to work with you and to reach out to you because our traumas do prevent us from fully showing up in our
That's right.
business. And that's not my specialty. I can't help them with that, but God knows I can send them your way. So talk to
Mm-hmm.
them about what you do.
So what I do again, I help people understand that there is a need and also possibility for healing,
Hmm.
restoration, transformation, all of that. Because when you have dealt with a trauma, you do feel like there's no such thing as healing. There's no such thing as renewing. There's no such thing as getting better. And so when I deal with people that have gone through that, it doesn't matter what type of trauma it is. So let me start there. It doesn't matter if it's the trauma of a sexual abuse, domestic violence. It doesn't matter whatever your trauma is. I can help you because when you have gone through that trauma, you do feel like, hey, I'm a lost cause now. There's no way I can get past this. There's no way that I can get through this. But I'm here to tell you, yes, there is. Not only am I a professional and been working in the field for 17 years, I too have dealt with trauma on a personal level. So I'm not just speaking textbook,
Yeah.
information. This is not textbook information. That's why you hear so much passion in my voice, because I am very passionate about showing people that you don't have to stay in that place of sadness. You do not have to stay in that place of brokenness. You do not have to stay in that place of hurt, because there's people like myself that can help you get through that. There's people like myself that can help to show you that being in that place for many, many years is not where you have to stay.
Absolutely.
So again, when I work with women that deal with the trauma, they come to me extremely broken. Excuse me, extremely broken. They come extremely broken, and they look at me and say, "I don't know where else to go.
Hmm.
I don't know what else to do. I don't know how you can help me." But when I begin to listen to their story, begin to listen to what they want, begin to listen to how they want to change, I then can tell them and show them these are the things we can do. It's going to be a hard road. It's going to be difficult, but you are able to get past what's going on. Not to say you forget the trauma. Don't hear me say that, but you will be able to,
Yes.
the feeling of the trauma won't be as much. The feeling of the trauma, it'll just be an experience that you went through, but it will not define you. It will not
Yeah.
hold you, and it will not keep.
Yeah, I have two sayings. I say, everybody has a past, and yours will either empower you or it'll devour you. And I also say on a regular basis that we have to rise up and realize that our experiences, they shouldn't condemn us. They should qualify us. And
That's right.
when we do get a chance to be in the midst of people like yourself that don't just have textbook theory, but have also gone through experiences, we are the kind of people that are more better able to serve because the level of compassion, it is heightened, because this is a business that requires a high level of sensitivity to people. And the one thing that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt is that you stand behind it. And like I said, I watched you and I was like, whoa. We were already connecting, and I'm like, this lady, she's just so brilliant. She's so bold. She's so powerful. And when I heard your story, I mean, I was almost down on my knees, I hate that I missed, that live event, because I had just
I
moved to
know.
Houston, shortly
Yeah.
before. And I'm like, dang
Mhm.
it, but that's okay. I'll be in your neck of the woods and I'll be in Houston again. And I don't know, we're going to connect again. But Lynn,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much, because there's so many things that you have said. And I know that the women should feel motivated and empowered and saying, I can take better action.
Right.
I want you to also talk to them, though, because you have a pretty good circle, around you. This is not something that you can do alone. You need the professional help often to get you through the humps. But just whether it's the trauma or entrepreneurship, no matter which one of these things we're talking about, what are some key things that are important for you concerning the kind of people that you have around you? What keeps you grounded and what keeps you motivated outside of yourself?
Oh, absolutely. People like you, I tell you, I had to purge, and it's important that people purge, and it's important that you prune. You know how when people prune trees and all, you
Yeah.
got to prune those things for things to grow. So I had to purge my circle. So I got rid of all that negativity and all those people that I thought were for me, and I realized that they were not. So now I have a circle of people like yourself. Well, first and foremost, if I was not grounded in the word, and if I didn't believe in God, I wouldn't be who I was today.
Gotcha.
I would not have gotten through my trauma. I would not have gotten through so much. I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. I don't think so if I didn't have the faith and understanding that God can do so much for me.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, and then having people that are smarter than me. I have to have people that are smarter than me because it's been said. I don't know who said it, but if you're the smartest person in your circle, you got a problem. So I make sure that all the people around me are smarter than me in ways of like financial or in ways of networking or ways of knowing how to get certain things because I want to continue to grow. And I have really good family and friends and those people that support me. So again, yeah, I am a bag of chips, all that in a bag of chips, but I still need to have extra people around me that believe that and know that too. Because there are going to be times where I get down or I'm sad or I don't know all that. And then I have those people like yourself and other people that say, did you forget that you was a bag of chips and everything else and
With some hot
Dr.
sauce.
Pepper with some hot sauce and a Dr. Pepper or whatever you want to add to it. And then I had to say, oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. Excuse me, I forgot. But I'm back.
Yes.
So knowing that I have all those people around me, it's important. It's important to have those people. So yeah, that's how I'm able to stay grounded. That's how I'm able to keep focused. That's how I'm able to keep pushing. And just seeing my son's face because I tell you, children have a way of just like checking you without really checking you. Like
Yes.
he'll look at me and he'll be like, "Oh, what you doing today?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Even though he didn't say anything, I knew he was saying, like, you about to beat your business.
Yes.
I know that. So, yeah, he's part of that circle.
And I know that has to feel good to you because what you're doing there's another layer of a blessing and you're going to be able to see how that manifests in your son because may not be 100% sure which path he's going to take, but he's
Right.
going to take a freer path.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to say, I have the ability to do. That's one of the biggest things for me is that I like my kids to see why everybody else's mamas, daddies is hopping in a car and driving away and hours later seeing them and barely being able to say, all right, all right, take it back, go to bed. But you're like, wait a minute, mama and daddy could be at home all day. Mama might leave and go for a business trip for a few days or be gone for extended hours and maybe have more clients on a day than usual. But the probability is higher that they're going to see me see my husband show them what's possible to do with their life. And that automatically, that goes into the expression more is caught than taught. Because we can tell our kids till they blew it, we're blue in the face. You got to dream big. But if you ain't dreaming big and telling them to do better before you know it, they'll go through the same cycle. And they'll be a slave to something instead of walking in their freedom. I know that does my heart a huge justice to see it in my own household.
That's right. I agree.
Yes. But Lynn, you are awesome. You are always awesome. I love to hear you speak. I've always loved your passion. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come here and to put something on the people's mind.
Thank you. I mean, I always like talking to you, August, because you get me amped up.
Wait, let's go take over the world.
You get me amped up.
Good. I'm ready to go do some stuff. When I stop hitting record, I'm gonna say about 10 more words to you, and I'm like, I got to go live in between now because this is a heavy podcast recording day for me, and so I got somebody that's coming right after you, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, can I sneak a live video in this bad boy real quick? Because
that's a business owner. See, that's a business owner. You don't give up. That's no in between time. You see how you beast in your business? Like, let me see. Can I do a live? Yeah, you can do it live. You sure can.
Yeah, and because that's part of my marketing strategy.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. So, but then I'm just also reiterating to you that it's that mutual energy. That's the beautiful thing I like about my circle is that I'm not just connected to people who just take from me. You got something to give back to me. And so you saying I'm inspiring you, but you inspiring me. And I'm like, shoot, all this stuff she said, I got these little chicken scratch notes down here. Don't forget to do a video about this, about that, about that. I'm finna go on Facebook. I'm finna blow it up. So look, everybody that's listening, because we could go on and on and on. Head on over to Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. Go to the feature speaker tab so that you can read a little bit more about Lynn. Go and find her on Facebook, right? That's the
Facebook. Yeah, my Facebook business page is Adrenaline. You know, like the word adrenaline, but it's spelled ADRENALYNN. My husband came up with that. I was like, you was
but that's bad. That's bad.
I know. I was just like, you're a genius. Like, he's
Adrenaline.
And put my name in it. Like,
do we need to get some marketing done?
I think so. Like, for real.
That's hot. Adrenaline.
I like that. So that's my business page. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, so it's Lynn_is_she. So Lynn is she on Instagram.
Yes, and all of the links will be on the feature speaker tab. Go there, connect with her. If you want to just be a friend, connect with her. If you want to even inquire about her services and see how she could be of a benefit to you. Maybe you just need her book. I don't know. But when you hear a soul this powerful that's declaring here on this podcast that you need to get your freedom, hint, hint, you probably want to be connected to her. So thank you guys for always tuning in, for listening until we get to the next episode. Remember, come on, ladies. This is the season of elevation. Real women don't bitch. They get shit done. Get out there and beast your business.
That's right.